This dog, I think my dog just farted. I think that's, whatever. It's the pre-show. Welcome to the pre-show, where we talk about all the shit we don't want to talk about in the other show. But also, you'll notice a change of decor. No, I did not give up the man cave. Or the office, or whatever you want to call it.
Just too lazy to walk upstairs is really what it comes down to.
I am too lazy. I know that there was a rumor that my wife had turned it into a nursery. It's not a nursery. It's still an office for all of you. So, Raul, don't you dare think that. Don't spread rumors. But maybe one day. But yeah, seriously, I think my dog just farted. Nice. Anyway, welcome to the pre-show, where we pre-game
boom
for the actual show. So this week, the pre-show, we're actually just gonna shamelessly plug our show, The Nerds from Work, live Saturday night in Atlanta, Comic-Con.
Woo!
I think I messed that one up, but it got the point across. We're gonna be live from Atlanta, Comic-Con, this Saturday, July 14th. So we're gonna utilize this time that we stole out of your week to discuss a little bit about why we enjoy going to conventions, why this whole thing came about, and why we're stoked to be there. So, Tank, do you want to start us off as guru conventionist?
I don't know, a guru conventionist.
Bro, you've been to 3. I've been to 2. Okay? You're guru.
I've been going to Dragon Con for probably about 5 or 6 years, 7 years now.
Okay, guru.
So, okay, fine. Now, to be fair, this will be my first convention that's not Dragon Con that I've ever been to. So,
okay,
interesting. But
you go to the Renaissance Fair, though. I mean, that's kind of the same.
Okay, yeah, that's like a con light, if you will. But yeah, I've been going to the Renaissance Festival for like 10 years and some change. So, oh yeah, that's always a good time too.
But we're talking about
Comic-Con. So Atlanta Comic-Con this year. This is the first year that this group's putting on Atlanta Comic-Con. Unfortunately, it's not the same people who do San Diego Comic-Con. But
don't get it confused.
I know.
A lot of people are getting it confused. We got it confused at first. But that's okay.
So they put on Comic-Cons in other cities around the country. This is their first year in Atlanta. I'm pretty excited. They got some pretty cool names. Nichelle Nichols from Star Trek's going to be there. Matthew Lewis from Harry Potter. They've got the original
the Red Ranger.
Yeah,
Red Ranger.
Yeah, you beat me to it. The original
Austin St. John.
What? One more time.
Austin St. John.
Yeah, Austin St. John. That's his name.
Yeah, buddy.
And then you've got
Morphin Todd.
Yeah, and then you've got guys like us who are putting on a random panel as well. But it's fun. I love going to panels, man, because like it gives you a almost like sneak peek into the lives of like other people. So like in years past, I usually end up going to a bunch of like actor Q&A panels. And so for like the different shows that I watch, so it's always really fun hearing like stories from the set or like hearing about like bloopers that we'll never see or like things that story turns that like they wanted to do but they couldn't, stuff like that. So that's always really fun. And then there's a lot of times you can do like meet and greets, and like I got to. So we're gonna do stories. So here's a short. It's not really a story, but Brent Spiner from Star Trek doesn't shake hands at conventions. There's too many people, too many germs. So I got a fist bump from Brent Spiner when he signed a picture for me. So you can meet people. Some people you can shake their hands. Some people you give them a fist bump. So
what's Brent Spiner's name in Star Trek?
He's Data in Star Trek.
Data? Oh, that's cool, dude.
Yeah. So
I don't know the guy's actual name. I just know him as Data.
Yeah, so he's Data.
Too many germs.
Yeah. So he doesn't shake hands at conventions. Or at least,
so he's actually Data in real life.
Pretty much. Yeah. But he's cool. I mean, he was really, really nice about it. Like, I went to shake his hand, and then
my wife just walked by. If somebody's watching this,
I wasn't.
I'm not just an idiot waving. I swear to you, there's a real person in here.
Well, her walking by has nothing to do with your last statement, but that's okay.
Okay, it took me a second to register that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's remember here. Okay, our show. Okay, our show.
Yeah.
Naru's not on here. You don't have to bash.
Yeah. Well, he's not on here. I need somebody. So, but yeah.
You're not the basher. The Bash Brothers. Me and Brandon. That's what it
Brothers.
is. Mighty Ducks. D2.
Oh, yeah.
D2 Mighty Ducks. Bash Brothers, okay?
Oh, that movie's so good.
It's so good.
But yeah.
Derailed a little. Sorry.
I love going to conventions. I mean, and you get to meet a bunch of cool people. Like we met people. That's where we met Chris Jackson at DragonCon last year. We did. We never would have met somebody like that had we not.
That is actually a really funny story.
It actually
Chris
is.
Jackson
Go
story.
for it.
So Tank and I walking around. Why did we stop at Chris's booth?
I guess you just looked at the books, because to be honest, his booth was very small. It was kind of sparse. Like he just had like a couple, like probably about like 9 or 10 of his books like up on like a stand.
Yeah.
And it was just him behind the table. Like there's nothing.
And I was looking for a book to read.
Is that what it was? You were like,
I think I was like, I need a book, like an actual book. And the author's here, so maybe, I'll look at the books, and if I like the book, I'll get the author to sign it or something. I'm looking at the book. He starts telling us about this book, and the dude was speaking with like so much passion about his writing that we got into more and more talk, and I can't remember, I said something like super stupid, and he was like, wait, you guys have a show? I was like, yeah, our show, The Nerds from Work. And I think back then we had like 30 views
total
max, like across all episodes, and now we actually have like over 1,000. We have a lot more now. We get like hundreds of views a week. It's weird.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
It is weird. People actually listen to us. But yeah, back then we had like no one. So for this guy, he was like, oh wait, yeah, here's my info. I think he thought we were a lot bigger than we really were.
If that's the case, that speaks even more to him, like as a person.
Yeah. Well, he found out we were very small, very fast.
That's what I'm saying, and he still came on.
Oh, and he's been on twice now.
Twice, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was really cool to sit down, talk to him, get to know him, and now out of it, we've had 2 celebrity appearances on the show, as well as we're all coming up with characters for this August's Dungeons and Dragons adventure. So that's going to be cool on the channel. So stay tuned for that. Man, shameless plugs all over the place this week.
I mean, it's kind of our show. We can kind of do that.
It's our show, right? So yeah, I mean, that was cool. Last year at DragonCon, we also we went to a Power Rangers panel.
We did,
because everyone knows I like Power Rangers. Like, I'm into it. So I was like, guys, we have to go. And even Rue was like, okay, this is cool. Yeah. Like, Rue hates Power Rangers. He hates everything like that. He is not into it. But the guy was just like, even like, Rue was flabbergasted. Yes, I said flabbergasted. And he was just like, man, this is so cool. Like, like Tank said, we got backstories like, what's his name? Jason David Frank. He was telling stories about how like he would go to work during the earthquakes of '96.
Yeah.
Honey, nobody can see you. The camera is this way, not that way. So yeah, do you remember? He was telling us stories like interstates were falling and collapsing in New York, and they were all there. And they're like, oh, we thought it was like just something on set, like they were trying to do something. It was actually an earthquake.
An actual earthquake?
Yeah, the Power Rangers. Like, that would be ridiculous. An actual earthquake happening, and then all these idiots run out and different color spandex trying to stop it. Oh, man, that would be ridiculous. Yeah, man. I love conventions, like Tank said. You get to see a lot of different people. That's actually my second interaction. First, I think we've already talked about in another episode, where Brandon actually full on like bro high five with Jason David Frank, like they had been best friends forever. And I was like, oh, dude, that's cool, man. You know someone out here in San Diego? We were at San Diego Comic-Con, and Ben's like, nah, man, that's the Green Ranger. I've never met him. I was like, wait, that was the Green Ranger? You're just like, you're boys? He was like, yeah, dude. Like, I just saw him, and I figure everyone tries to get an autograph, but how many people like give him the bro bump, like the full on, bring him in for a hug? Like I was like, oh, that's cool, dude. Like you guys are friends or something? Like how do you know that guy? Oh, that's a Green Ranger. I think we had his action figure when we were kids. Oh, we definitely did, and that's weird. You just like bro hugged him.
Yeah, so cool.
But like you get these kind of experiences from conventions because that's how these people, make their livelihood. That's really the only time you get to see them. You want to see, idiots from YouTube that have a show that started as nothing. That's really the only time you get to drink with us because, as you can see, we're homebodies.
Yeah.
We don't get out much. But yeah, I mean, you get to see these people, you get to hear their stories and stuff like that. And I think conventions are a way to just bring everyone together to enjoy this one thing,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a place where no matter, it's like the opposite of high school. Like nobody makes fun of anybody, no matter like how ridiculous they look, because everybody there is some kind of like nerdy or dorky or whatever, and so it's just good just being able to hang out with people who are like they're there for the same reasons you are, just to hang out and like meet cool people. So,
well, I mean, this year, my wife as well as Tank's wife, they will be going with us. So don't look at them or we will knock your teeth out. But I know that my wife has been telling people about the show and stuff like that. And now all of her friends who may have seen one Marvel movie, or maybe they go to the movies and watch, the Justice League because Jason Momoa is shirtless or something. Okay, my wife's giving a thumbs up right now.
To be fair, that's the only reason anybody should go see that movie. So.
Yeah, I mean, wait, is that the reason you only went to that movie? Is that what you said?
No, after the fact, I'm saying looking back, that's about the only good reason.
You want to think about that before you say that, or you just gonna say it? Just balls out. You don't care.
Pretty much.
It was. I think I went to go see the Justice League, and my wife saw the Henry Cavill Jason Momoa show. So, there's like two masculine dudes with shirts off, like 95% of the movie. So.
Yeah, well.
Then we got home. I took my shirt off. It wasn't the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah, she kept calling me Momoa. Not like our first names are the same. I don't even understand why she had to go by the last name, but whatever. Anyways, she wrote on me with a Sharpie. It took a while to get off. Whatever. So, she's going. Her friends are going, but it's all because they're like, oh, that seems interesting. They're not going to try and, oh, I'm gonna go make fun of people. I'm gonna go, be nasty about whatever, but they're interested in one thing and then something else brought them to it. So if I could say anything to somebody that's wanting to try out a convention, Atlanta Comic-Con seems like a pretty harmless place to go.
And also, I think I have the feeling, I don't know, this is the first year, I have the feeling that this is going to be a little bit smaller convention, especially compared to something like Dragon Con, which takes up like 5 hotels in downtown Atlanta. This is just at the Georgia World Congress Center, so it's like one location. There's only like I think like 10 or 11 like rooms for panels or whatever. So I don't foresee it being humongous. So like if this is your first time going to a convention, this might be a good one. You can just go see, get that seat a little bit smaller before jumping into something like Dragon Con.
So Brandon and I, our first convention was San Diego Comic Con,
which is about jumping into the deep end.
Yeah, we jumped in. Like, you guys know us. Brandon and I just roll off like, whatever. But we definitely jumped in way too deep.
Yeah.
And,
that's
like,
crazy.
We didn't know what to do. We wanted to see panels, but if you've ever, like, heard of San Diego Comic-Con or looked at it, it's all of downtown San Diego. So they have the convention center, like 4 hotels, and like a few other buildings, but all of San Diego participates in San Diego Comic-Con. So even the restaurants are all themed. They all have stuff going on. Like the streets are shut down. It's massive. And we didn't really know. Like there were, we need to run to this panel. Oh, we need to do this. We need to do this. We need to do that. And I think we honestly wasted it We knew what we wanted to do, and I feel like we wasted a lot of time because, when we went to Dragon Con, I feel like we got a much better experience because we had a plan.
Right.
So have a plan. Go with someone who knows or don't, whatever, but definitely go into a smaller convention first, trying to get your feet wet.
Yeah.
Try and get your footing before you do something like San Diego Comic-Con or even Dragon Con, because that, going to that, it was a few hotels like Tank said, and it's pretty massive in Atlanta. So do you think that Atlanta Comic-Con will actually grow?
I don't know. I think I think it'll depend on this year, and it'll depend on who they can get, because the big name guest list is, I guess, comparatively small compared to something like Dragon Con, and so. And if they can, like with anything else, like if they keep doing them and more like actors and more like comic book artists and stuff like that start coming to it, then potentially. But the problem is you're also kind of sort of fighting with Dragon Con. So like if some of these people were like out in LA or whatever, and they're like, oh well, trying to get back and forth to the East Coast, they may pick and choose between Atlanta Comic Con versus Dragon Con. I don't know. So that I could see that potentially being an issue.
Well, the way I see it is Dragon Con exists for a completely different reason. Like, Dragon Con is massive. They had huge Game of Thrones stuff there when we went. They had everything. Man, looking back, I really wish we did a live show from Dragon Con. Like, that would have been awesome. But they had a lot of stuff. I feel that they can both coexist, right? Dragon Con is September?
Uh-huh.
When is it? September?
First weekend of September, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. You knew that a little too quick. Oh, wow. So we're like almost back to back, huh?
That's what I'm saying. So, it's always over Labor Day weekend. That's the only reason I know that. But
yeah,
and because I've been a lot. So either way, yeah. So they're kind of close together. So like that could be, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I could see. I could see it coexisting because the Dragon Con has its own fandom where I believe the majority of Dragon Con is cosplay. Like, it's a lot of what it does, a lot of people are dressed up. There's a lot of stuff going on. And if Atlanta Comic Con did it proper, then I feel like they could both coexist, where Atlanta Comic Con kind of took on comic books, superhero, film type stuff, and Dragon Con could still have, a lot of different
Dragon
things.
Con has kind of morphed into more of a pop culture con. I mean, because it's not just comics and movies.
Right.
We've got a little bit of everything. So maybe if Atlanta Comic Con stays a little more niche, I guess, then maybe it'll work that way. So maybe they keep coming back, but I don't foresee it ever being as big as Dragon Con. So,
well, I don't know.
It's the first.
I think
year,
with
right?
the name recognition, I think name recognition at Atlanta Comic Con could definitely blow up because you have people like my wife, right? My wife thinks Dragon Con, and she immediately, to her mind, people dressed up. She hears Atlanta Comic Con, and then she goes, oh, well, they have something like that in San Diego, and that one's pretty big, so why don't I just go to that, right? So, if they do it to a new crowd and they market it proper, then I think it can grow. But it'll have to grow within the realm of we're branding for the MCU, for the DCEU, or DCU, whatever they call themselves now.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, they have to brand like that for the newer aged, and then Dragon Con will be for people that have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we'll see. It could be. This is the Atlantis Comic Con's first year, so we get there and there's no.
We'll check it out.
To move, yeah. If there's no room to walk in the convention center, then odds are next year it'll be more places. It'll be bigger, whatever. So
if there's no room to walk in the convention center, I'm going to be smiling from ear to ear because I have a 7-foot wingspan. I'm just going to start pushing people into our room.
See,
you're going to watch this panel.
I'm just going to walk right behind you, and that way I never have to worry about the crowd. I'll be good to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Actually, I should put you out front. No, we'll use Rue as a shield.
Well, see, what'll happen? I'll just sit on one of you guys' shoulders and just start directing traffic to us.
No, I'll buy you a balloon. Get you a balloon and a cotton candy. All right, guys. So, Tank, can you tell everyone where to find us on Saturday?
We will be at Atlanta Comic-Con this weekend, July 14th, 9:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. In room C108, Charlie 108. That's the Georgia World Congress Center. We'll be there all day, walking around, hanging out. So if you tweet at us, whatever, find us. We'll be walking around doing a couple different panels. But we'll be in room C108, 9:30 p.m., talking, just shooting the shit with you guys. So come out, check us out.
Yep. And, like I said, I'll be there. Tank will be there. Rue will be there. Brandon will not be there. Brandon's Slacker. A punk biatch. Alex won't be there. He's trapped in the closet. So, whatever. We'll be there. We have a guest host that will also be there. So you guys might want to check in for that. She's pretty big name. She's a pretty big name. So, check us out. C108 World Congress Center. Man, that sounds pretty freaking regal.
Right?
Like, I'll be in the World Congress Center. Baby, how does that make you feel? All right, she's giving me a weird. It's weird. I love you. It's weird though. But World Congress Center, Charlie 108, 9:30 to 10:30, live from Atlanta. It's the Nerds from Work. From all of us on pre-show. Peace.